Being a Shohei Ohtani hater has got to be the world's hardest job. Welcome back to Good Sports for You, where we are talking about good sports for you. And Shohei Ohtani just the other day had a leadoff home run as a pitcher, the second pitcher to ever do that, only behind himself last year during the playoffs in the NLCS against my Milwaukee Brewers, where he then proceeded to pitch 6 scoreless innings, strike out 10 batters, and have 3 home runs total in the game. The greatest single game performance ever seen in the history of the planet, in the history of baseball. And then the other day, leadoff home run, proceeds to pitch 5 scoreless innings against the San Diego Padres. And I saw posts before and after this game, about, Shohei's the best ever, right? He obviously is. It's pretty clear cut. And there are somehow people still being haters and saying that he's not, or even saying that Judge is better, whatever it may be. I want to say some stats to show just how good Shohei Ohtani is. It's like almost inconceivable just how good he is on both sides of the baseball. First of all, we're going to start off with his pitching for his career, and then we're going to talk about his season, right? And then we're going to do the same thing with the hitting. So for pitching, he has a career 151 ERA plus. That means that he is 51% better than his peers, right? It compares the ERAs and adjusts for factors and everything like that, and it spits out a number that shows how good he is compared to the people in his era. So it's very good at comparing different eras. That is 6th all time of any pitcher, any starting pitcher, to pitch at least 500 innings. 6th all time behind Dave Brown, Bill Foster, Bullet Rogan, all 3 of whom were prolific Negro League pitchers. Also, if you want to take a look at Dave Brown's Wikipedia page, fascinating, absolutely fascinating. And Bullet Rogan, honestly, is probably the most comparable player ever to Shohei Ohtani. Not Babe Ruth, Babe Ruth was fantastic, but he wasn't pitching at the level that Shohei's at. Bullet Rogan is probably the one guy that's comparable. The only thing is his hitting is a little bit worse than Shohei's. Totally understandable, right? And then you have Clayton Kershaw, Pedro Martinez. That is it. That is the entire list. There isn't Justin Verlander, there isn't Max Scherzer. You know who's behind him? Jacob deGrom, the 2-time Cy Young winner, who's not known for his longevity, but just known for at his peak how good he is. Jacob deGrom has a 150. Other players behind him: Walter Johnson, frequently cited as one of the greatest pitchers ever. He was probably the first fantastic superstar pitcher, one of the first 5 players ever inducted into the Hall of Fame, known for revolutionizing pitching. Roger Clemens, the juicer, also frequently cited as one of the greatest pitchers ever, has the record for the most Cy Youngs ever, one of the best pitchers ever, a 143 ERA plus. Oh, and if I didn't say, Walter Johnson had a 147. Some other guys worth mentioning: Chris Sale, 142. Brandon Webb, 142. Also, take a look at Brandon Webb's baseball reference page. Holy smokes, he was so good before he got injured. But here's the thing: Shohei Ohtani, by ERA plus, is better than all of them for his entire career. His entire career. It is absolutely absurd. Strikeouts per 9. Very good indication of how good a pitcher is in terms of just pure stuff, striking guys out. He has 11.3. Once again, with starters with at least 500 innings pitched, he is 2nd all time behind Tyler Glasnow. That is it. His teammate, who has 11.4, he is right behind at 11.3. He's ahead of Blake Snell, also his teammate, at 11.2. Chris Sale at 11.1. There are a lot of modern guys. They dominate the entire leaderboard. Dylan Cease at 11. His whole entire thing is striking guys out. Shohei Ohtani is better than him at that. What about some historical examples, or more recent historical examples? Because like I said, basically all these guys are more modern. Randy Johnson, one of the best strikeout pitchers ever, 10.6. Pedro Martinez, 10. Nolan Ryan was so far down on the list, I didn't even bother going. And that's just because he pitched so many innings. He was a workhorse, right? So Shohei Ohtani is the 2nd greatest strikeout pitcher ever. Ever. And when it comes to ERA, like I said, he is the 6th best ever. Ever. Let's go to hitting, because I know some people may say he's a better pitcher than he is hitter, or he's just pitched in a lot less, so, just a little bit of goodness. looks way bigger than it actually is. He's just hit way more. Okay, let's look at that. His OPS plus is 160. OPS plus is the same measurement as ERA plus, so he is 60% better than league average. And once again, this adjusts for eras, so compares to everyone else. He is 20th all-time with a minimum of 3,000 plate appearances, and that's what Baseball Reference leaderboard, right? I didn't have to juice the numbers or anything. If I wanted to bump it up to 4,000 plate appearances, he would have been even higher up on the list, right? He is the fourth active behind Aaron Judge, Mike Trout, and Yordan Alvarez. All three fantastic hitters. Yordan just hit the 3,000 mark this year. Aaron Judge, one of the best hitters ever. Mike Trout, one of the greatest players ever. All of these guys are so good, which I don't want to take away from it all. That's another point that I want to make later. Let me remember that. But again, he is fourth active. He is tied with Juan Soto, frequently cited as a generational hitter. Shohei Ohtani is just as good as Juan Soto. And mind you, those three guys or those four guys, all they can do is hit. Shohei Ohtani, ahead of some historical examples, Stan Musial, who had a 159, Frank Thomas, a 156. And Frank Thomas, really all he could do is hit. He is in the Hall of Fame basically as a DH, right? What about Hank Aaron, Willie Mays, Joe DiMaggio? All of them 155. What about a more recent example? Albert Pujols, 145. Shohei Ohtani is 15% better compared to his peers than Albert Pujols was. Absolutely absurd. So what about this season? What about this season, you ask? Because he's been really bad hitting this season, right? That's what I've heard. That's what I've heard from all the comments on Instagram, is that his hitting hasn't been good. 150 OPS plus, 50% better than league average. The current 10th place in the leaderboard in the National League right now is 151. He is 1 point away. His OPS right now is 885. That is the 13th best mark in the National League. So even on his down year, and mind you, he's on like a 5 or 6 game hitting streak right now, filled with multiple multi-hit days, and now just a home run while he was pitching. All of that and all of the criticism that he's faced about, oh, his hitting isn't this good this year, he is still, at a bare minimum, the 13th best hitter in the National League. Christian Yelich received MVP votes last year with very similar numbers, and he was basically a DH. And then let's take his pitching into account. This is his best pitching season ever. My only complaint is I wish that he got more innings, and that's an issue that I have with Dave Roberts. I understand that they have an absurd rotation that's absolutely stacked. You got to start pitching him more so he can win the Cy Young, basically. But anyway, because I still think he'll win the Cy Young with his innings right now, because his rate stats are so absurd. His ERA right now is 0.73. 0.73, and he's coming up on 50 innings pitched. He's just below it right now. He has an ERA plus of 544. 544. That means he is 444% better than league average. Mason Miller, who I've been told I have been disrespecting by not putting him on my Cy Young ranking as a reliever, has an ERA of 0.79 with an ERA plus of 5.18, which is incredible. It is absolutely fantastic. Shohei Ohtani has a better ERA than Mason Miller, the best reliever in baseball right now. Shohei Ohtani is better than, with more innings pitched. He's a top 10 hitter, and he's the best pitcher. He is the best player to ever live, and it isn't even close. He's going to waltz into his 5th MVP this season. By the time he's done, he will have the most MVPs ever. He will be ahead of Barry Bonds quite easily. And that made me thinking, what are some things that Barry Bonds has over him right now? He has the more home runs all time. Right now, he has more MVPs. He was more feared of a hitter. Obviously, he doesn't have the World Series rings, but baseball isn't a ring game. I've heard people say that it is. It's not. So I'm not really taking rings into account. But if you want to compare postseason performances, Shohei hasn't beat because he went 6 scoreless and struck out 10 while hitting 3 home runs in the same game. You just cannot beat that. You cannot beat that. But let's compare some specific things. The one season that he didn't pitch because he was having Tommy John surgery and he was waiting for his arm to get better, He had the only 50-50 season ever, and he won the MVP, and that is not while he was pitching. He almost had a 55-60 season, and he won MVP. I believe that all of his MVPs have been unanimous, so that means he's a 4-time MVP winner, and like I said, I do believe they're all unanimous. I'll fact check it, and I'll edit it to see if it's not, right? And then when it comes to just 50 home run seasons, he has 2 of them, which is less than Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge is generational hitter. I want to talk about that later. He has more 50 home run seasons than Hank Aaron or Willie Mays or Barry Bonds. Each of them have 1. Shohei Ohtani has 2. That is 3 of the greatest hitters to ever live, and Shohei Ohtani has more 50 home run seasons than any of them. But that's the final thing that I want to talk about. Shohei Ohtani is the best player to ever live. He is the best player on the planet right now, 100%. That should not take away from what Aaron Judge is doing, or any other player for that matter, right? Matt Olson is having an awesome season. Jordan Walker is having an awesome season. All of those guys should be in the MVP conversations. Shohei Ohtani will win it, but these other guys should be in the conversations. You should be giving them their respect. Aaron Judge is so good. This is not a video in any way, shape, or form to tear down Aaron Judge. He is the second best player in the world by a huge margin. As we've discussed, he was the first in terms of active players in OPS plus. I believe he's like top 10 in career OPS plus all time. He is unbelievably good. He is so good, but he can't pitch. At the end of the day, he can't pitch. Shohei Ohtani is one of the greatest pitchers to ever live and one of the greatest hitters to ever live. If you separated him into 2 different bodies, one of them just a pitcher, one of them just a hitter, he would still be in Hall of Fame considerations. That is how good he is. And the thing is, when people are going to argue that Shohei is not the GOAT, it is only going to get more difficult. If he wins the Cy Young this year, it will be impossible to argue. Once he passes Barry Bonds all time in MVPs, it will be impossible to argue. He is by far and away the most talented player ever, and now the resume is showing that he is the greatest ever. So stop it, please. People who are commenting on the MLB's post, it's like, oh my gosh, MLB is going to be posting so much Shohei Ohtani. Good, post more. The MLB should be pushing him more because he is that important to the game. He is one of the most important players in terms of growing the game ever. He's grown the popularity so much overseas, especially like Japan. It's a different level of fandom for Shohei Ohtani because he is that good. He's that important. So just accept it and just say, you know what? I love Aaron Judge. He is so good. He is so good. That doesn't mean I need to tear down other people for deciding to talk about how fantastic Shohei Ohtani is. And that also doesn't mean that I need to comment a corny post when the MLB posts more stuff about Shohei Ohtani, because they should. When people say, why are they even posting this? It is because everything that he is doing right now is historic. He is historically good. He's absolutely fantastic. I made a little reel on my Instagram the other day. If you're not subscribed or follow the Instagram, go check that out. Good Sports for You. Same thing on everything. And it was basically me saying, I feel so bad for Paul Skeens right now. Paul Skeens is having a very good season. He had a blow-up start, recently. He is supposed to be the next guy up. He was basically the heir apparent to Jacob deGrom, where you're like, wow, his stuff is so incredible, so good. Or Christopher Sanchez. I feel bad for Christopher Sanchez too, because they see all this. They are having incredible seasons. And Shohei Ohtani right now is better. He has a better ERA by such a substantial difference. He's pitching better. He's pitching deep into games too. He had 1 game this season where he's pitched in less than 6 innings. 1 time, and he pitched 5 innings. It's not like he was getting pulled in the 3rd or the 4th or whatever it is, right? It's like 6, 6, 7, 6, 7, and all of these things. He's just going out there so much. And like I said, my last thing is, please pitch him more, because he can't win the Cy Young with that few innings right now. I think that people are still going to want to see some more innings, but because he is so good, he can definitely go on 4 days rest or 5 days rest or whatever it is, because right now he's getting like an entire week of rest. But you know what? Keep him healthy for the playoff run, whatever. Shohei Ohtani is the greatest player to ever live. Thank you for watching. If you made it this far, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all those things, and I'm out. Peace. Wait! And I got one more thing actually that I forgot to mention. This is a completely different day, but I just saw it on Instagram. People are talking about like, man, I wish pitchers still hit, and everything like that. Ohtani does still hit. He's the best to ever do it. He's the only guy who has ever been able to do it, except for maybe, like I said, like Bullet Rogan and like Babe Ruth. Pitchers had the chance to hit in the National League through the entire life of baseball, and for the American League, the vast majority of the time in baseball, and nobody has done it like the players that I've just mentioned, most specifically Shohei Ohtani most recently. So I don't want to hear people say like, man, if Paul Skeens got the chance to hit, he could have. He could have been drafted as a pitcher hitter like we have seen by players in the past, but nobody has done it like Shohei Ohtani. That's my final point. Thank you for watching so much. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'm out. Peace.